是啊，没有讲 Hi everyone. I welcome you all to our empowering event, which is hosted by the African Center for Technical Training in collaboration with the Flag and African Youth. I want to be sure everyone can hear me. So if you're having issues, you can please put it in the chat group so we are aware and we fix it before we kickstart. Good to know. So today we are going to be exploring uplifting stories in TVET. We have two guest speakers on this call. One who is popularly known as Shikanik. She's our main speaker, and I'm excited to hear her story of how she got into TVET. And many of you must probably know her. You heard of the story of the 12 Ghanaians who embarked on a road trip from Ghana to London. And I must say that she is the only female who took part on that trip. And we are privileged to have her on the call. She has a well brand known as Shikanik. It's an auto mechanic brand. And she's going to share with us and empower us in how to position ourselves and take on opportunities in TVET and assess opportunities that could launch us for success. And so whether if you are joining us on YouTube, I would advise that if you have questions, you put it in the chat box. If you are with us on Teams, you will have the opportunity to lift up your virtual hand and ask direct questions. If you wouldn't want to speak, you could as well put your questions in the chat box and we will attend to you duly. So I'll hand over to the main speaker now. Over to you, Nani, for your welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Monica. And that was a very nice introduction. Can you hear me? Can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Right. Great. Okay. So before this intro, I had written down something that I was going to talk about, but I like how the angle in which you put it, to share my success stories, to tell you all how I came to be a female fitter, a very proud one. Yeah? Okay, so if you all can hear me, I'll just jump right into it. I don't like to go by reading anything. I like to just talk freely, but I'll do well to stay on the topic. That is to talk about pathways and ways in which we can excel as, well, I don't know why we should keep calling it TVET, but technical experts. Now, how did I come into this? I think TVET, the fundamental thing about TVET is it teaches you how to, or it trains you how to think beyond the expectation, critical thinking, solving a problem, thinking positively, not conforming to what society thinks, or not conforming to what the many handouts have been given back in school, not just going by, but then questioning and deciding to do more than excelling in your trade. Now, I got into this because I identified a problem. What was it? One, you don't find a lot of women who are in TVET, or a lot of women. Let me narrow it down to what I do: mechanics. A lot of female mechanics. As a matter of fact, a lot of women didn't know or don't know much about the cars that they drive. So we all stand at a disadvantage. If you have an issue with your car, you have to call somebody to help you. Imagine a woman having an emergency on the highway late at night and having to depend on someone to come and help her. I didn't want to be that woman. Number two, I noticed in Ghana, we tend to make TVET punitive, or for lack of a better word, if you don't do well in school, we'll just say, hey, go learn a trade. If you don't do well in school, go and learn how to do your hair or dressmaking or, the technical things. It was always for people who somewhat do not do well in school. Now I wanted to change that because I realized that the impact of it was we have skillful people who have self-esteem issues. We have skillful people who are just narrowed by how people or society sees them. I wanted to make that change. Now, to make that change, I have to be one. So I had decided that, hey, let me focus on this. Let me be the change I'm seeking for by actually wanting to learn this trade through apprenticeship, questioning. So yes, I joined a company that they fix cars. This was back in 2013. I joined as an office assistant. Being an office assistant, I decided, hey, I want to be more than that. I don't want to just be in the office and sending invoices. I want to go to the field, the garage, ask questions, try my hands on it, fast forward. I have gained a wealth of knowledge, just the mediocre. I think that's the word, mediocre, because there's a lot of mediocrity in our system. So that is how I started this, and I've gone on to excel at what I do. The drive was God's grace, I would say, because I wasn't expecting it. When I heard about it on social media, I reached out to them. I said, hey, you know what? I fix cars. Can I at least clean your car before you go? Can I provide you with coolants before you go? What can I do to support you? Because I realized it was a wonderful initiative. Fast forward, I got the opportunity to join them. So yes, that is how I became, I think that must be my breakthrough. That's how I became known. But prior to this, I've been in this industry for some 8 years, 9 years, 10th year now, actually. So that's how I got into this. And I'll expand more of it as we progress. So Monica, is there anything else that I missed?
No, really, that's such an inspiring story. To learn of someone who started as an office assistant and now has your own brand in auto mechanic. That's very inspiring. Usually, the typical route for someone in an office role would be to aspire to be the CEO or maybe to be a manager, either the production manager or an HR manager, those white-collar jobs. Yeah. But you thought beyond that, and that's so inspiring. And we want to learn how we can position ourselves to take opportunities in TVET, basically. So I think I will go ahead and share your slides if you don't mind.
Yeah, please go ahead. So while she's sharing the slides, I think now number one thing I would say is you should be able to identify a problem. The world's most famous or richest people are those that have identified a problem and found solutions to it. So that is always the number one thing. And the TVET gives us the perfect foundation for this. TVET is target trained. So we are training you to be able to provide the service for a gap, an industry gap. 2 days ago, I saw a publication where the MD for Stanbic Bank was talking about how we don't have the right employees, the right qualified people for the job. And then I realized, hey, TVET really is the answer, because what TVET does is it trains you for that specific thing. So you want to get into IT, learning program, TVET trains you into that specific thing. You want to get into healthcare as a dental assistant or a nursing assistant, it trains you, so it's specific. Unfortunately, in our part of the world, we haven't yet discovered this, and we still treat it as those who didn't finish the degree go into this TVET courses. And even us, we tend to not regard it as such. I'll tell you, I'm sure you heard this many times, that in other parts of the world, those who are doing practical skills, Monica, I'm not able to scroll this down, I'm not sure why. In other parts of the world, those who have gone on to do technical skills are the ones making money. Unfortunately, it's not the same in Ghana. But hey, thanks to African Center for what you do, and a lot of having a lot of programs like this, I am I'm certain that with time things will change. Monica, I'm not able to scroll this, so I'll just use for my phone. Okay.
Okay, I don't mind controlling from my end.
Yeah, please do. Please control it. Please control it. Thank you. So the next slide. We all know what TVET stands for: Technical Vocational Education and Training. So if you don't know now, please, then there's something wrong. Monica, please, next slide. Okay, so as I mentioned, TVET gives us practical skills and diverse opportunities, which makes us relevant for the real world. It makes us relevant for the industries now in Ghana. I'll share this as a story. There's a gentleman called Danny Menu who has invented earbuds that helps translate any language. So if you travel to, let's say, Cote d'Ivoire recently, with my recent trip, yes, language barrier. So you go to Cote d'Ivoire and you need to communicate. You could just put in the earbuds, whatever the person is saying, you hear it in English or whatever language that you need. I'll share this experience with you on our Ghana UK trip, language. So in Cote d'Ivoire, I wanted to use the bathroom and I couldn't speak French. I can't speak French. And I had to use the bathroom. And imagine me sign languaging that I'll need to use the bathroom to handsome men. Like, what do you do? How do you even sign that? So language is very important. I would say that with TVET, you should be able to understand the need to be always learning something new to make you relevant. So in this case, I'm a mechanic, I'm an auto technician. I want to someday work with German companies. I want to be able to bring BMW, Audi, Mercedes to Ghana, manufacturing plants. What do I do? Learn the language, learn German. So for that reason, I'm taking German classes online. I'm not paying anybody to teach me. I'm making use of the technology that is available to me free of charge. So I'm taking German lessons. This is what TVET does. It makes you want to open up to learn as much and get yourself ready for the job market. So I'll give an example. So you're an electrician. You're taking a course at African Center for Excellence right now. And you want to make yourself not just a Ghanaian technician, but a global citizen. What do you need to do? Research on what are the new ways that these electricians are going about it. Research on the new tools. If you notice, what I have here it looks like something that the doctors use. Okay. Going through my training, my master never mentioned this to me. But what have I gone on to do? Research and make myself relevant. Okay, how? This is a diagnostic tool. This helps me hear the sound. Here, if I'm looking for something, there's some rattling noise in the engine and I can't seem to find it, I just put this in my ear and then put it in the direction where I am looking for where the sound is coming from. So what am I trying to say? I've gone on to see the new tools out there that my colleagues in the US, my colleagues in Canada, my colleagues in Russia are using to be better at their crafts. So please do not limit yourself to just what you know in Ghana. Do not limit yourself to what you've been taught in Ghana, because now when they say the world is a global village, please, it is literal. So do what you've been taught. Go on to want to learn more. Monica, please, next slide. These are the ways in which you can position yourself to take up jobs from anywhere in the world. Now, I discovered this recently that you can actually apply for a job here whilst you're in Ghana and be working for an international company. Like, this is interesting. So if an international company is looking for a plumber, Like you have the right skills, you can just take a trip. Now people have something called travel nurse, where people travel from one state to another state to go and take care of the aged. This is something that you can do too, because you have made yourself relevant. So next slide is inspiring career journeys. And this is where it gets interesting. You go from being an apprentice to sign up to a TVET program and then growing your career. I think I've touched on this. I went through that apprenticeship. And in this case, you can also say internship. Apprenticeship is learning from the people that have gone on to do it, learning some things, but more importantly, not just learn, but make sure that you learn the right things and add it to research and add to what you know. So not just learn what you. I remember back in school, the handouts that were given. When I say school, I mean university. The handouts that were given were handouts from Gagesbeck time, things that are not related to now. Now the schools the mechanical schools that there are, they are still teaching them about carburetor engines. The world has gone beyond carburetor. As a matter of fact, I went to a driving school where, by definition, there's one about steering wheel. And what they just said was a steering wheel is a round object that steers a car in any direction. And I told it, listen, now we don't have just round steering wheels. We have flat-based steering wheel. Even have half. You know, the race cars, the steering wheels are not even round anymore, like half of it or even a quarter of it. I got it wrong. He got upset that, hey, I'm challenging him. Sadly, that is the part of the world we're in. We are not allowed to be vocal about what we know. So what I'm trying to say is, do not just absorb what you've been taught in class. Research. Want to be the best. A friend of mine once told me this, that if you want to be the best, let's say builder, focus on being the best at laying one block. Make sure this block that you're laying is the best. Let people say Kwame Akosia Echan is the best bricklayer. Then move from there to attaining higher heights. So you go through apprenticeship, you go through your TVET program, and then you find ways. Finding ways to advance is researching. Now we have internet, we have data. It's okay to be on TikTok. It's okay to be on Facebook and Instagram, but also make sure that you are learning things that would make you better. So even with the TikTok, go on the pages where they are doing, if it's air condition, go on those pages, see what your colleagues are doing, see the new tools, see the new skills, see the new ways in which they are solving these problems, and improve on your crafts. I did the Ghana UK trip mainly because I wanted to understand how vehicles behave in different terrain and weather. That was my main reason. So yes, even though I'm okay, I'm making money, I have customers, but I wanted to learn more. So if you forget anything I've said today, please keep that fire to learn more. Keep that, even when you graduated from your courses, even when you become masters in your own right or teachers in your own right, keep learning. Never lose that focus to keep learning and be better. Ghana is a fish tank. When I say Ghana is a fish tank, I mean Ghana is very small, very, very small, and lots of mediocrity. See the world as your stage. Be a global citizen. Next slide, Monica. Please go on to the next slide. Thank you. Okay, so how do I identify my path? Explore interests. It is okay to have many interests. As a matter of fact, it's only when we grow that we stop having interests. If you notice, when you're a child, you'll be able to do lots of things. You can run, you can jump, you can talk, you enjoy